which says units since 2000, those are total number of units permitted since 2000 for all projects. Top of page 3, I may have misspoke. That talks about permits issued for, units approved and permits issued for everything just since 2000, meaning projects approved since 2000, and what's been permitted in those projects since that were approved since 2000, if that makes sense. So it's kind of a confusing correlation, but those are the numbers of just projects since 2000 and what's been permitted in those. The table at the bottom of page 2 talks about all projects across the city and what's been permitted in all of those since 2000.
And then your build out is if everything gets built that's been approved.
That's been approved or zoned, kind of the whole works, everything combined. But going back to the bottom of page 2, that talks about the total number of units, single family percentage. Here it says 70.6, we say 72.6, so it's very close. And then the single family attached in 2 units, or we say 2 family, that's kind of combining those two. So that's essentially 14% here.
Well, remember, that's Blue Springs School District. You go out
Right,
south,
exactly.
you got the White Road.
It's a little different, but it does.
It's pretty close.
The ratio is essentially very similar.
Absolutely.
So that's, when you look at those type of numbers, that's the a single family attached in 2 units, we average together, and that's what we call 2 family. And then multifamily is everything else. So that's, if you're kind of trying to do apples to apples, it's not directly related, but yours is broken down a lot more. Ours is just in 3 categories, and that's kind of how you draw the lines here. But yeah, it's very, very similar.
So you've got a copy of all of the data that we got tonight.
So Scott, to summarize that, I always get lost in this data. Okay, there's the multifamily definition, and there's single family. And Renew the Blue has to be at the 75-25 percentage for a benchmark.
It's rental versus owner occupied. And like Officer Jarvis said,
Yes.
that also includes some single family. And,
That's
yeah.
right.
And then
You're
there's
going to have owner occupied, multifamily,
Right.
and you're going to have rental, single
Single
family. So
family.
there's a little bit of of a mix in there.
These are actual units on the ground, or approved or permitted. Again, it's kind of a mix, but essentially they're units and not if they're rental or owner.
Well, I think we need to, at some point, it's just a suggestion, make some defined definitions of what we're talking about if we're shooting for those percentages, so that when the community talks about it, we're all, this committee maybe is defining what we mean by some of those statements, so that there's no misinformation about what we're
But
talking
you can't say we're going to stop it right at 25%.
No.
I mean, you can't do that. I mean, that their market drives that. And to say we're stopping right at 25%, you can't do that.
And those are policy decisions. I just want to make sure when we're talking about statistics and it ends up in the paper that we're all talking apples to apples.
Sure.
Maybe it won't end up in the paper.
I was say that was in Renew the Blue, wherever he is. Renew the Blue recommended that. So.
Right.
That was in Renew the Blue.
So if we come out with some recommendations, just saying we want to make sure that we're all defining it appropriately.
Correct. Well, and actually in the citizen survey, there was the multifamily was broken down, and there was a different satisfaction between duplexes and multifamily per se. So I also think that even in our citizen survey, there's discrepancy in the numbers and by definition. So you're right. We need to kind of drill that down before we make our recommendations. Okay. Well, we're going to be meeting in 2 weeks, same place, same time. Any of the information that we have in our booklets, Mr. Allen has available, and he can make you copies of any. So we didn't make enough copies. We had no idea there'd be so many people. So anybody who would like copies of any information, get in touch with him, and he'd be happy to copy for you. And this meeting is adjourned. I don't have a gavel, but we're adjourned.
It doesn't show if you did that or something.